All right, we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Growth and Evolvement channel. And I'm jumping on here to share some gems to wrap up the week. And I want to share a segment from a book that we're studying at the moment, U Squared by Price Pritchett. And I also want to share some highlights from the mastermind calls this week and our coaching calls. And if you're watching this video, I hope you get some great inspiration from it. And if you're looking for coaches and mentors and you'd like to have some help with your goals, reach out to us. So this is U Squared. It's a book about really massively increasing your performance and not just incremental growth. So we're challenging these belief systems that we have that it's kind of normal to grow gradually, do a little bit better, a little bit more, but a quantum leap is really a multiplication in performance and a multiplication in your results. So I'm actually going to read one page from this. It's a short page, and I want to share some insights around quantum leaps, around multiplying, and around setting and achieving new goals and what's involved in that process. So I'm going to read this piece. So it says, right now, in this moment, you are capable of exponential improvement in your performance. You can multiply your personal effectiveness, hit new highs, and shatter your old achievement records. The results you can have will be hard for you to imagine. The first coaching program I studied was with Bob Proctor, and he said that if you follow this process, you'll need a telescope to look back to where you were. And my life has completely changed. Basically, everything in my life is different since I got into this material and applied it. That's the key. You can become U Squared. You don't have to settle for things as they are now. That can change dramatically. If you're ready, life is prepared to give you a breakthrough experience. You can jump to a higher orbit of achievement, live the dream, enjoy a completely different plane of success. Debbie and I speak a lot about, moving from a life by default, so we're just accepting suggestions from the environment, from people, to a life by design. So where you're living your life by your own design, the career the way you want it to have, the relationships the way you want them to have, the health the way you want to have it, and start to really figure out what is your life by design. Also, you don't have to be content with improving things incrementally or gradually. Just as your level of performance can improve drastically, so can your rate of accomplishment. Now, who here wouldn't want to speed up the accomplishment of their goals, okay? We'd all like to be going a little bit faster. So what can you do to accelerate things? Furthermore, the U Squared formula requires far less effort than you've given in the past. And this will challenge a lot of the cultural programming, because a lot of us have inherited a, work harder paradigm. If I just work harder, but that's often not the solution. And, it's not about doing more of the same. It starts to improving our effectiveness and moving towards our goals in more of the effortless way. And again, that can challenge a lot of people's belief system. That's good. You want to start to really question your beliefs, and are they serving you, and are they producing results you want to produce? Could you achieve more with a bit less effort? So, and that's about doing things in a certain way and doing things more effectively. You haven't reached your full potential. You haven't been reaching your full potential. So far, you haven't even come close. No matter how you wish to measure success, regardless of how you define achievement, you've barely scratched the surface of what you personally can accomplish. But maybe the time has come to change all that. Maybe you're ready to make a quantum leap. Everybody watching this is a human being with infinite potential, meaning there's another gear, there's another level, there's another level of success, there's another level of refinement. And better is a great word. We always want to be improving. We always want to be growing. And that's the whole point. So I want to talk a little bit about quantum leaps. And, when we think about success, a lot of times people think they need to do more. And actually, quantum leaps are achieved through release. And as we start to move towards new goals, and as we grow, it's natural to outgrow things. And what happens to a lot of people, we see this a lot, is people outgrow something, but they hold on to it. So you might be thinking of something. It could be a relationship. It could be a job that you've outgrown. It could be a circumstance or situation. So you can ask yourself the question, what have I outgrown that I'm still holding on to? It could be a belief. It could be an old narrative. And while there's part of us that wants the growth and involvement and new results, there can be fear of change. So you want to give yourself permission to really explore what your life could be like and to move towards that. And another thing we talked a lot about this week as it relates to releasing things is forgiveness. And it's a big topic for people. And again, if you've been a human for any length of time on this planet, you've probably experienced something that wasn't ideal. And we don't want to bring any resentments or any of that with us on the journey, because that can actually block people's creativity and their thinking power. So we want to start to release some of these things, whether it's a person you need to forgive, maybe it's a situation or circumstance, or maybe it's yourself. Maybe you feel like a lot of people are saying to themselves, I could have done this, or I should have done that, or I should have done this. We want to have compassion. Now, there's a fine line in the growth involvement. We want to have self-compassion, absolutely. We also don't want to tolerate negotiating and making excuses for not growing in the direction that we want to. So getting that balance right. But if there's something that comes to mind that you need to forgive, you can do the exercise we did in one of our classes, was to write a forgiveness letter. Now, it's not a letter that you actually post or send to that person. You just write it and you release that energy from your own mind and bless and release it. So thinking about this, where are you holding on to the old world? And you can ask yourself, like, how fast can I let go of the old world? And if you really want to have change, and if you want to experience different results, you want to start to think about, what do I need to release? Okay, so quantum leaps isn't always about doing more. It's about doing things differently in a certain way, and also letting go of what's no longer serving you and having the bravery to do that. And, most people have mixed feelings about change, but to start to embrace the excitement of it and what could be on the other side and what it would look like to really start living your life by design and improving your life in every area and expecting better things, but taking action accordingly to ensure that you're going to improve those, because there's a part that we can do as well. So think about your goal this weekend, and you want to write it out, create a clear mental picture of it. What would it look like to have your life by design? What would your relationships look like? What would your health look like? What would your career look like? What would you be doing? How would you be acting? Who would you be celebrating with? So really starting to accept the idea, if you like that idea, of a quantum leap week. And, one idea can change your life. One day can change your life. And just really expect success in whatever it is that you're endeavoring. Another question we asked during the week was, we get everyone to check in with their goals repetitively, just get back on the vibration of the goal achieved. But as well as thinking about what's your goal, you want to think about, am I expecting that? Am I expecting things to get better? And a lot of people have a goal and they want things to be better, but they're not expecting them to improve. So you want to match your expectancy with the goal. So set your goal and expect things to get better while actually taking positive action in that direction as well. Okay, we want to do our part as well. So happy Friday, everybody. Hope you get some insights from this. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and start thinking about that this weekend. What do I need to let go of to get to the next level? Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all very soon.